What's up, everybody? C4 back again with another C4 Talks, and today we're going to talk about FaZe Clan's HCS event. Now, in year 2, we had our very first year of partnered orgs hosting official HCS events. We had the Optic event, we had the Space Station Invitational, and then in the third year, we had FaZe come on board as well alongside Space Station and Optic to host a major. And it took 117 days after the roadmap was announced to confirm the dates for the Atlanta event. And it was in July, I believe, of last year. I went to that one. It was a pretty fun event. Don't get me wrong. Fun event. I enjoyed myself. The arena was completely different. It was nice to have a basketball arena, as a venue, but the problem wasn't the venue necessarily, although it probably could have been, maybe a little bit bigger. The problem was that the fact that they took so freaking long to announce the dates. And like I said, it took 117 days between the roadmap and then to actually announce it. And then we had like roughly, I want to say a good roughly 2 months till the event happened after they announced it. And now we're back on track for, this is the 4th year of HCS. We've got Optic confirmed their date right out the gate. Salt Lake was confirmed right out the gate by Space Station. But FaZe, once again, have dropped the fucking ball here. I mean, absolutely just dropped the ball. There's no dates of yet. The roadmap was announced in early February. It is now June, about to be July, and just a week from now, at the time of this recording, it is the 21st. And we still don't have any dates. Now, they did say that it was going to be somewhere in early fall. We have several events taking place in September, and I'll get to that in just a second. And we still don't have a FaZe event confirmed. Now, we know FaZe Clan are a bunch of crypto bros. They invest their money in cryptos. They had their stock, which absolutely crashed. These dudes have got to be broke at this point. I mean, I know they're still fielding teams, but the fact that some of the excuses why we don't have dates where, they didn't lock a venue down, the budget wasn't absolutely set yet, and that really leads me to believe that they just don't have the money set aside to plan ahead on these types of things. And it's really just a huge problem. Being a partnered org, I'm not against FaZe in any way. I like the teams that they roster. Great teams that they've had. They've won a world championship and a couple of majors. And, that's great and all and everything. And they've picked up, Trippy, Penguin, and Lucid. And they also have Snakebite now, obviously, after they dropped Suppressed and Fallicated. But, obviously the roster's not the problem. It's the fucking fact that we just don't have an event yet. Now, what's funny about that is that Shopify is a brand new org. They came on in February with the announcement of the roadmap alongside TSM as a partnered organization with HCS. And just here about 2 to 3 weeks ago, right on Friday of the DreamHack event in Dallas, they in LVT announced that there's going to be a pro league. They got a pro league, right? And, that's all online, good stuff, right? But they had their event already set. Of course, they're doing it at their headquarters, but it's the fact that a brand new partner team comes onto the scene and is absolutely just making FaZe look like a fucking joke right now, right? They're just honestly embarrassing the fact, that FaZe has been with us since year 1, and we aren't getting any dates yet. Now, here's my thoughts, and these are pretty serious thoughts. I'm being pretty serious about this video, is that if we get a year 5, which I don't know yet, HCS is looking really good. The competitive scene is super strong. Grassroots orgs popping up all over the place. Professional orgs popping up all over the place. Tons of community tournaments going on online weekly. And, the competitive community has never been stronger at this point. I think it's honestly stronger now than it ever was in year 1 and year 2. Just everybody's enjoying Halo. We want more Halo. The game is continuously being updated, although it takes a lot of time to update it. But my thoughts going into year 5 is that we should just get rid of FaZe hosting a major, and we should give that major to Shopify. Shopify Rebellion have proved themselves already in the first year of partnership. They were, kind of that lower, not really a lower tier org, but they were kind of lower on the totem pole when it came to priorities. And, they held strong all 4 years and rostered a team throughout the entire lifespan of Infinite in the HCS scene. and now they just got partnered. Now they're a great org. You know, they came to Arlington. They had a claw machine. They had a booth. You could get some free stuff out of the machine. You could buy some merch. They were at Worlds last year. At 2024, had the best booth there. Period. Hands down. FaZe kind of do the bare minimum, in my opinion, when it comes to these things. Along some of the other orgs, obviously, they do bare minimum. There's no content coming out of any of these orgs other than like Space Station, Optic, and now you have Shopify. You know, they got their players streaming and stuff like that. You know, they don't put out a whole lot of content, but the fact that they get the Pro League now, it solidified them as one of my favorites of all time right now in the HCS. And I really think going into a year 5, if that happens, they deserve that spot. Take it away from FaZe, because history repeats itself at the end of the day. And with 2 years back to back without an official date, it's just really embarrassing and honestly just downright frustrating, because as someone that attends these LANs and these events, I like to plan ahead of time. I like to look at my money. I like to figure out, like, do I have enough? Do I need to work some overtime? Do I need to pick up some extra cash somewhere else to make it work for me? Of course, you know, Flyer Miles credit cards go a long ways to cutting that significantly down in terms of cost. And that's what I typically do, is use Flyer Miles to pay for my flights. It only ends up being like $11, but you know, it would be nice knowing when the event is. Now we've heard rumors of where it's going to be. It's going to be in Charlotte, it's going to be in Columbus, Orlando, maybe Kansas City, Chicago. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's the point in the fact that we just don't have anything solidified yet. And like, you know, really, to be honest, the turnout at Atlanta wasn't anything in comparison compared to the other majors. Like Salt Lake blew it out of the water. Space Station absolutely nailed it. Optic got a little bit better last year in year 3. You know, they worked on things. Year 1 was kind of like a shit fest. Year 2 is a little bit better. Year 3 is a little bit better. But FaZe, you know, they didn't do too bad at their event as far as, like, you know, just setting it all up. There wasn't a whole lot of activities there to do. Space Station honestly just kill it. And honestly, at this point, you know, Space Station's been hasn't been around as long as FaZe. FaZe has been around for a long time, and we know they're a bunch of crypto bros. They're a bunch of broke ass people. Like, just, you know, I know there's some rich dudes in there like Kason and shit, and like the streamers making dough. But like, what is up with the budget? Like, I'm calling them broke, because at this point, if Tashi's on Twitter saying that it's a budget issue and we don't have the budget set, that just leads me to believe that this org is like basically bankrupt. Like, they're really scrounging money together to get this thing going, you know, and they don't have a lot of funds to contribute to getting a venue locked in early on and the date. We're looking possibly at the end of September now, because the Shopify event is going to be September 12th through the 14th, and then you got, like, you know, some probably tournaments before and after that, and then really you don't have a lot of time. And usually, like, one LAN is to the next LAN, there's like a month space. There's about 4 weeks usually between one LAN to the next, and Worlds is at the end of October, right before my birthday, that Monday. And it's honestly just sad at this point that we don't have anything to, like, book. I can't go and book a B&B. I can't book my flight. There's no, you know, obviously tickets wouldn't go on sale until like at least a month or two prior to most of these events. Space Station's already had their tickets up well in advance. I bought them, like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago at this point. And I'm really at this point kind of just like done with FaZe being a partner team. Like, I mean, I don't really care if they're partnered as far as terms of skins and stuff, and being able to have that benefit of having free travel coverage and everything, and all that. But like, it's just, dude, can we get a org that's better to host a major? Like, FaZe, dude, are just not it at this point. And, you know, I know the community is probably on the same page with me. And, you know, like, my buddy Only Used a Frag, aka Ben, you know, he said, you know, he thinks it's really the fact that they just don't have the money. They're broke. And we know that the crypto crash hit them hard, as well as a lot of other orgs. They were in the moon. They were sponsored by MoonPay at one point, which was a crypto, like, exchange or some bullshit. I don't really do crypto. It's like, it's really, honestly, it's just monopoly money. It's just monopoly money at the end of the day, right? It's fake fucking money. Let's be fucking honest. It's not a real fucking investment, in my opinion. It's only held up by the fact that people are fucking putting their own money in it. But, you know, and I don't really understand crypto, so take me with a grain of salt, but at the end of the day, it's fake money. Let's just be fucking honest. it's really sad. I mean, they've probably put their investments in that. They've probably shelled out a fucking buttload of ass money to dumb things like high production fucking videos and editors and content creators and shit like that. That really, at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, content creators are necessary for an org to kind of get their name out there and, like, you know, push things like sponsorships and events and stuff. But dude, I don't know much about these professional orgs. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm just shooting the shit here. I mean, you can hammer them if you want in the comments, but you know, dude, they are honestly sad. It's a sad org. Shopify or some other org absolutely deserves to get a major. You know, if I'm thinking, other than Shopify, what other org could really take that spot? You know, TSM are brand new to the scene in Halo. This is their first year in the Halo scene, period, and they got partnered right out the gate. You know, you got Complexity, you got Cloud9. You know, trying to think, dude. I'm blanking here on some of the partner orgs at this point. Excuse me. We've seen a lot of orgs come and go. You know, partnered ones come and go, and as well as grassroots, but. Dude, Shopify Rebellion are honestly, they deserve this. Going into year 5, this Pro League is going to be hot. You know, it's been restructured and all that good stuff, but it's going to be a hit. And then the LAN's going to be a hit. There's going to be a lot of viewers on that. You know, it's obviously not HCS sanctioned, or, you know, doesn't contribute to any points or anything. It's just basically money on the line at the end of the day, and just basically content, which we need desperately in the Halo scene. We need more content, and that's why I'm making videos like this, just to get my thoughts out there about subjects, because I'm really quiet on social media for the most part. I really don't voice my opinions, but FaZe don't deserve a spot hosting that HCS major. Now, I'm going to end the video right there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Does FaZe deserve another chance? Do they get a third chance before they strike out? Or do we just say fuck it and, like, we opt to have Shopify host it? You know, HCS would be smart to invest in Shopify in all honesty, because they've taken it way more seriously, and they're just brand new to the scene as far as being a partner at Oregon. Yeah, I got to give my hats off to them. We know they're going to kill this Pro League. They're going to kill the LAN that they got coming up at the end of that Pro League, and they're probably going to show up at Worlds once again, I would assume, with a booth. And yeah, they do good stuff. So I'm happy to see what they can do, and maybe we'll get a shot at a Shopify Rebellion event in 2026. Take it easy, guys. That's the end of the video. Make sure you like, subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you next time. Peace.